Jenni Minto, to be followed by Stephen Kerr for around 4 minutes. Ms Minto.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, and I would like to congratulate Clare Adamson in securing this debate on one of the most colourful and patriotic of Scots. I too have my husband to thank for my knowledge about Don Roberto, and if I can unashamedly plug his programme that was made for BBC Scotland called The Adventures of Don Roberto. If you visited my office here in Parliament, alongside paintings and artwork depicting the beauty of my Argyll and Bute constituency, you will find a Stuart Bremner indie print of Robert Bontyne Cunninghame Graham. Born on the eve of the Crimean War, he died as Europe lurched towards fascism. His 83 years were crammed with enough adventure and endeavour for several lifetimes. For a start, he was a traveller, the wild gaucho horseman of the Argentine Pampas, where he lived when he was young, and named him Don Roberto, a name that stuck with him all his life. In Texas, he witnessed the last of the old Wild West, surviving encounters with gunslingers and hostile Apaches. Even though being Harrow-educated, Cunninghame Graham was a lifelong radical and outspoken champion of the underdog, whether they were Native American Indians, Scottish miners, women, Zulus or English ironworkers. He was a true Scottish internationalist. And as Clare Adamson has said, he was elected to Westminster as a Home Rule Liberal. Home Rule for Ireland, that is. But he was constantly espousing more radical policies in the House. He was the first MP to declare himself a socialist, and he was the first MP to swear in Parliament. And as Clare said, while as an MP he was badly beaten up and then arrested during an unemployment demonstration in Trafalgar Square, spending 6 weeks in Pentonville prison. In 1888, he and Keir Hardie formed the Scottish Labour Party, while he continued to argue for Scottish independence. Cunninghame Graham was handsome and debonair. Walking in Hyde Park one day, he met George Bernard Shaw, Anne Shaw's mother. He and Shaw greeted each other, and as they went their separate ways, Shaw's mother asked her son who it was they had just met. That was Cunninghame Graham, Shaw told his mother. Nonsense, she replied. Cunninghame Graham is a socialist. That man was a gentleman. After 6 years as an MP, Cunninghame Graham became disillusioned with Westminster, believing nothing could be done for Scotland or for the English poor there. He described it as an asylum for incapables. In 1894, he refused to stand for the Labour Party in Aberdeen. He criticised the party in these words: "The same voices, foibles and failings which it has taken the Whigs and Tories many generations to become perfect in, the Labourists and Socialists have brought to perfection and with apparent ease in 6 years." And yet his own reforming zeal was undiminished. He wrote more than 30 books and a torrent of passionate and radical journalism. And he hadn't given up on party politics to become the joint president of the SNP when it was created in 1934. He remained a radical and progressive all his life and wrote, "Without nationalism, we cannot have any true internationalism." Cunninghame Graham, as we've heard, travelled widely and thought deeply. He was friends with many of the great figures of his time, the aforementioned Keir Hardie, Bernard Shaw, Joseph Conrad, Oscar Wilson and my favourite, Buffalo Bill, who he met in the Glasgow Art Club. Robert Bontyne Cunninghame Graham lies buried on the island of Inchmahome on the Lake of Menteith. A year after his death, a memorial stone to him was unveiled on land that he had given to the National Trust for Scotland near Dumbarton. It reads, "Famous author, traveller and horseman, patriotic Scot and a citizen of the world. He was a master of life and king among men." Presiding Officer, I would like to end by returning to the print of Robert Bontyne Cunninghame Graham in my office. It is emblazoned with Cunninghame Graham's own observation, and one that I live and breathe. "So long as my strength lasts, I shall continue to advocate for an independent Scotland." Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.